forget the 80-hour work weeks. You want to forget risking your life savings on a venture with a 90% chance of failure. Because what if I told you there's a country where becoming a millionaire isn't just a dream, but something the system is actively designed to encourage? A place where the government doesn't just regulate you, it invests in you. And that's pretty cool because the last time we had something invested in us was when Trump invested in the babies that are born between 25 and 28. So no, we're not talking about some Caribbean tax haven or a desert metropolis built on oil. We're talking about a place where one of the highest qualities of life on earth exists, and ooh, a nation that consistently tops the world's happiest reports in the world. But behind the headlines about happiness and saunas lies a powerful hidden truth. Now, this side of Finland, those happiness country headlines never show you a meticulously designed economic engine built to turn innovators into millionaires. Yeah. So for years, hold on a second. Yeah, for years, we've been sold a single story about success, and usually it revolves around that Silicon Valley model, the endless hustles, the ventures, uh, looking for capital roulettes, and a move fast and break things mentality that often breaks the founders first. But what if the model is fundamentally broken, the one that you've been using so far? That's pretty tough to think about. So, what if the path to building a 7 or 8 figure business wasn't about punishment, but about plunging into a system designed exclusively for your success? So, in tonight's show, we're not just going to tell you about it, we're going to give you the blueprints and we'll reveal the specific government grants, the game changing tax breaks, and the unique business opportunities that make Finland a quiet powerhouse for entrepreneurs. Now, this isn't just about getting rich, it's about getting rich the smart way. So let's be honest, for most people, the dream of entrepreneurship has become a nightmare in disguise. And we're sold a story of freedom and ultimate unlimited potential. But the reality is, a landscape filled with traps and systemic hurdles is what we have to face on a day to day basis. In the United States, a founder might start their journey already shackled by tens, if not hundreds, of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. Before they've written a single line of code, they're in a deep financial hole. Then there's healthcare, in a system where health insurance is tied to your job. Leaving a stable gig to start a company isn't just a career risk, it's actually a health risk as well. It means gambling with your family's well being, where a medical emergency can bankrupt your dream before it even gets off the ground. And this is going to create a golden cage where talented people with world changing ideas are too afraid to leave their corporate jobs because the personal risk is just too great. The environment is cutthroat, and you're not just competing with a startup in the next garage. You're up against global giants with nearly infinite resources. In saturated markets like San Francisco or New York, the cost of living and talent are astronomical. Your seed funding, if you're lucky enough to get it, is gone in a flash, eaten up by rent and salaries before you've made any real progress. So you've been forced into a desperate cycle of funding, spending more time pitching VCs than building your business, all while giving away more and more of your company. Because you got to understand it, with venture capitalists, they want a percentage of voting control over your business. And there are a lot of them that ask for like 51%. And when that happens, they're trying to buy out the idea. But this is that hustle culture that we've been taught to glorify, that I've been warning you guys it's not a good idea. Sleeping under your desk, sacrificing your health, your relationships, and mental well-being for a shot at success. This is a culture that leads to epidemic levels of burnout and anxiety among the founders, which I'm experiencing today. But we celebrate the 1 in 1,000 unicorn survivor, but we ignore the vast graveyard of fallen companies, broken people, and lives destroyed in the wake. And this model isn't just unsustainable, it's inhumane. So, in summary, uh, punishes the system that punishes risk takers creates a huge barrier for anyone not already wealthy, and it grinds even the most passionate people into dust. It's a broken promise. And it's this exact problem that Finland has systemically and quietly solved. Yeah, he keeps saying that gold to 25,000 is not going to happen, but gold to 6,000 will happen. Gold to 25,000 is not going to be possible. Not inside the next 2 years. So, how did a small Nordic nation of 5.5 million people create a system that flips the traditional entrepreneur struggle on its head? Well, the answer is a totally different philosophy. In Finland, entrepreneurship isn't seen as a high risk gamble for a few brave soldiers, but as the strategic national asset that benefits everyone. So the Finnish model is built on one powerful idea. And if you systematically de-risk the life of the entrepreneur, you are dramatically increasing their chances of success. Because the only thing that slows somebody down is the fact that they got to go make money now, instead of waiting for the fruits of their labors to pay off in 3 to 6 months or 2 years. But this isn't about handouts, and it's definitely going to be in line with smart strategic investments. And the Finn government knows that a successful company is going to create jobs, pay taxes, and drive innovation that helps the whole country. And that's going to be the challenge. So the state essentially acts as a co-founder, an early stage investor, and a safety net for the every promising venture. Oh, Dylan says, hello, everybody. Oh, man. Well, I tell you, 3 different 3-hour naps today. No, 3 different 1-hour naps today. So 3 hours total. Oh, since the last 48 hours. I tell y'all, burnout is burnout. We got it under control though, because 30 Friday Saturday is on point. Either way, this is where the happiness country title starts to make real economic sense. So that happiness is a direct result of a society that gives you a profound sense of security. And if you imagine starting a business knowing that your children's education is world class and publicly funded, all the way from primary school to university, that's actually a good setup. He said, do you have a pod in the morning? No. I only do one podcast a night, and I try my best not to let the sun rise without airing that show. So if you were here last night, you seen I did a show last night, tonight is tonight's show. And since I do not put a lot of effort into pre-recording stuff, I'm going to be here this time tomorrow night running a different show. One day I'll start up a business, but unfortunately not in Finland. Well, some people have the proper network to you saw one in the morning. Well, you might have watched it in the morning, but it was recorded right now. If the timing is off for one of them, that might have been set incorrectly. Then I'll go double check that after the show. But no, it starts at the round about the same time of day every day of the week. Been that way since 2023. So we've got a lot more, like you said before, we got more consistency than the U.S. Postal Service. So we're definitely here around about the same time every night. You only miss us if he was out working. Okay. I believe that the schedule might have said mornings, and after the show, I'll make sure that it says evenings. So imagine this. Imagine knowing that if you get sick, you'll receive excellent health care without fearing financial ruin. And while early child care isn't entirely free, it's heavily subsidized with income-based fees, which is making it affordable. Imagine doing business in a place with such a high degree of trust and a low corruption that everything is transparent and efficient. Yeah. This is the foundation of Finland's entrepreneurial ecosystem. So this social safety net isn't a drag on the economy, it's the engine. It frees potential entrepreneurs from the personal financial terror that kills so many greedy ideas. And in the other countries, they'll be able to function a whole lot better than what we function in the United States. It lets them focus on their energy and money as well as on what actually matters. And this is going to be building a great company when you make this kind of space. Now, the famous Finn work-life balance isn't just a fluffy perk. It's seen as critical for long-term creativity and productivity. The country's connection to nature with its vast forests and lakes isn't just a postcard image, it is an integrated part of a lifestyle that prevents burnout. So imagine taking a strategy meeting on the shore of a frozen lake, and that's going to be what the real possibility is in Finland. So this holistic approach, combining a robust welfare state with a fiercely pro-business mindset, is going to create a unique alchemy. He says, I wish if I land had a way for me to get healthcare America. Yeah, they've got a marketplace out there right now. The marketplace is, I didn't bring it. Marketplace is a way to get like one of those Obamacare style health coverages that doesn't really cover what you need to cover. But you would be paying a pretty penny for the convenience, I can tell you that. Back hurts too. Now, you're going to remember that you're going to be in Finland in the type of environment where you can take massive professional risks to become your personal life's security, or you're going to change jobs out of anger. Now, the big idea here is that success isn't born from struggle and fear, but from a foundation of stability and support. So this all sounds great in theory, but let's get down to the details. How does the system actually work? And this isn't going to be a vague philosophy. It'll cover the creation of the 5 pillars blueprint. Yeah. So this machinery that makes Finland arguably one of the smartest places to build a 7-figure business from scratch. We're going to be giving you guys a lot of information about that as well. I find that even though we're supposed to be like the first world, greatest country in the world, when it comes down to things like healthcare, we're down there really close to the bottom 100, 150. It's a little bit tough, but that's what we have to look into. Now, the biggest hurdles for new entrepreneurs is going to be seed capital. A lot of us have that issue. So in most places, that means begging for friends and begging your family, or giving away a huge slice of your company to then invest in the company. Now in Finland, one of your first stops is Business Finland and government agency that function as a key founding partner, which is a great example of the Tempo grant designed for innovative startups with the international growth potential. Yeah. So while the exact amounts and terms can change throughout the year, this instrument can offer tens of thousands of euros. So think anywhere between the neighborhood of 50,000 and 60,000 as a grant, not a loan. Whew. He says healthcare costs after 2 surgeries this year cost me 5 figures, and that's in this year alone. So in the States, yeah, I'm not a high earner, so healthcare sucks here. Okay. That's a lot. Yeah, we was in a different country, we wouldn't be able to go too far with this country sucks. So when you're given these subsidized loans from your Finland government, you come to find out that you don't have to pay those back. Business Finland often covers a larger percentage of your project's cost for the things like testing your items and exploring new markets. So think about that. The government gives you non diluted funding to the validation of your dream without taking a single percentage of your ownership. That's rare to do. But it doesn't stop here because for entrepreneurs just starting out, there's the startup grant from local development offices, assessed on a criteria. And that criteria basis isn't designed to fail you, it's actually designed to secure your personal image for however that image is supposed to look. Um, this is going to help you guys secure your personal savings so that you can go ahead and start working on paying that rent and get rid of your peer revenge. Yeah, we do follow ups on stuff that's happened on the show. So only once you have the traction, the funding ladder continues. And for deep tech companies, yeah, that's tough to put your finished product on the line. But deep throat, hold on, deep tech companies program the young innovation company. That's what I want to get into. And funding offers of multi-stage mixings of grants and loans that can potentially totally over €1 million make you successful. Now, the fintech state doesn't just give you a fish, it teaches you how to fish and then it gives it to you. So the top of the line boats, they might all right catch something, but it doesn't catch everything. So as for equality, probably should have left that in the safe. Uh, the state's investment arms, uh, that is something that we're going to be talking about today. And for equity, the state's investment arm is Tessie, not Tesla, often co-investing amongst private VCs to strengthen their mark. So let's talk real quick about the taxes in Finland as we move into the other topics. This is where Finland is often misunderstood because, yes, personal income taxes can be high, but that's what pays for the incredible public. Yeah. So when you're not saving for your kids' college or worrying about a massive healthcare bill, your personal salary needs to be much lower, which lets you leave more cash in the company for growth, or you leave more cash for the portfolio because you know, yeah. But It's on the corporate side of this where the system really shines. Finland's corporate income taxes is a flat 20% across the board. That's actually better than what we've got over here right now, which is still competitive, and it's more of a simple strategy. Because while they have been political discussions about potentially lowering this rate in the future, the real magic is in the deduction. Finland has rolled out a generous research and development tax incentive scheme, and it is including general exams or general extra deductions for the R&D experience, and they are often additional therapy bonuses if you increase your R&D and spending. Now the government year over year also actively incentivizes you to collaborate the country's world-class universities and research institutes. So for companies making large-scale investments in strategic areas like the green transition, because a lot of people are going green right now, there are other taxed credits and availabilities that you could potentially get something out of. And though these come with the specific criteria and eligibility rules, it's got a little bit more value to it. Now, strategically, the tax system isn't a punishment. It's a set of levers designed to reward you for doing your very best. Yeah. And I think that's probably a good format to have because you're encouraging more and more people to apply themselves to success instead of rolling the dice and hoping that they make it. So when you get these rewards for doing your very best, that's going to make your business more visible and inviting. So the government is essentially offering you a discount on your growth, and the whole system is known for its digital efficiency. Cutting down on the bureaucracy that plagues entrepreneurs elsewhere, you'll see a lot of success here. Now, for many that is outside of the EU, the dream of starting a business abroad often dies in the mountains of visa paperwork. And Finland creates a streamlined path for ambitious finders and the Finland permit. So the Finland permit is far more innovative, and it starts with the potential for rapid international growth. Now, this rapid international growth is not going to require you to get a bank account. And if you do get one, it's going to be an offshore one. You've got to make sure they're not tracking your money. The permit is for the individual startups with the potential for rapid international growth. The process is logical and founder friendly in some situations. First, you have to submit a business plan to Business Finland. There, experts will evaluate your idea, your team, and your team plan for for scaling on a generous basis. Now, the rules are designed to be fixed to attract the best ideas. And once you get a positive, alignable statement from them, the rest is remarkably smooth. So if you could be backed by the government, you would have room aboard, which is something better than nothing. Now, a lot of people attach their own residence permit applications and act as if a powerful endorsement is in fact coming. The permit is typically granted for 2 years and is renewable, giving you a stable runway to build your company and bridge your family. So it's not something that's going to come due and you just got a tough luck on it 6 months from now. This is something that you can get yourself financially set up with and then utilize it to change. So once you have your permit, you can gain access to many of the same social services that we've been talking about over the many months. And we'll be able to analyze the support systems as any other residents that will be living in the area. I got to tell y'all, this took a lot of digging. And as we continue forward, we're going to be digging into why all of this stuff is so spread out. So if you guys have ever not known that this channel existed and did not know that we had the capabilities to find and correlate some of the information that should be reasonably related to your own personal interest, should take some of that time and dive into this particular podcast, because we provide you more information for free than any paid any paid individual that's getting paid $200 to $300 per console. But after 4 years of continuous residence, providing you a list of requirements that you have to meet at the time, but if you meet that list of requirements, you can even become eligible to apply for permanent resident. And the government is actively scouting the world for talent. Yeah. Now, this is going to make it easy as reasonably possible for the talent to relocate to a building where the next global success story is going to be on Finland's oil. That's what it's going to be on. So a support system means nothing without opportunity. And Finland is a hotbed of high growth sectors. Whew. They also have especially curated deep technology. And for decades, the country has built a world-class ecosystem connecting academia to government. But in the hospitality method, they're not. So here we have, for decades, the country has built a world-class ecosystem that has connected both academia and the government. So I want you to think about the gaming industry, because Finland is the birthplace of giants like Supercell and Rovio. Their success didn't just create a couple of wealth companies, it is spawned from an entirely unexpected ecosystem. So, former employees will start their own studios, creating a vibrant cluster of hundreds of gaming companies. Now, that's pretty deep. But those companies are going to be supported by experienced mentors and a deep talent pool. And that's unexpected. Espresso. Oh, so side note real quick before I keep going, because they learn this pay it forward culture, which is going to be their hallmark of the Finland startup scene. But information that I can pay forward. I got me a coffee pot from Temu that actually has a brewer on it with a froth thingy. So now I have been making Starbucks style coffees, espressos, using my new coffee pot. So I'll be doing a video on that coming soon and posting it up, since we got less stuff to do for the holidays. Oh, so much work. There's so much work behind the podcast. If only I could just sit here and look pretty and get 100,000 views a day. Maybe when we start taking the podcast on the go and start visiting some of these countries, maybe we'll start seeing that, being able to just hang out in front of the camera and be like, yep, this is the location. But, you got to set those 20-year goals. And that's what you're capable of doing in Finland, because the success in Finland is mirrored in other deep tech sectors like the health tech, quantum computing, and AI. Helsinki is home to the Mariah 0.1. And I can assure you, it is not Mariah Carey. But this is going to be a leading startup campus. And Altos, one of the Europe's most active student-run entrepreneurship situations, studies. So their real sense of community here is not the zero-sum game that a lot of us typically operate on. In fact, the feeling in Helsinki is that a rising tide is going to lift all of the boats up. And basically, if we're catching the wave, we're going to be at the peak of profits and peak of performance going through. Now, the venture capital scene is a mature and well-connected way. I don't know. He asked me a question about Keith Sweat. I don't know, because Keith Sweat doesn't make money for me. But if he did, then I'd know. Finland constantly has one of the highest rates of venture capital investments per capita in Europe. And the ecosystem that includes powerful local foundations or funds, as well as significant government co-investments through Tesla. Now, the state-owned investment company, this creates a powerful founder, and that powerful founder is ironically going to be our escalator. Yeah. Now, With that, you can start with a government grant, prove your model, and then seamlessly move to raising capital from a sophisticated network of investors who understand deep tech and long term values. Now, finally, the pillars of the finished blueprint go beyond your business and into what passive wealth creation in real estate really is. Now, for many entrepreneurs, the true feeling comes when passive income exceeds living expenses. And we would all love to be in that position. But in Finland's uh, real estate and car repair markets are uniquely linked right now. So let's take a look at the unique opportunity here. In Helsinki's metropolitan area, strong populations, growth fuels persistent demand for housing, offering the potential for stability, long-term capital appreciation, and rental yield descents. He says, OPM. True. Oh, it's Christmas time, so when you say Mariah, that's what I hear is Mariah Carey. I'm more of a Jennifer Lopez. And it's got to be like the J Lo back with Ja Rule, that one. Everything was still perky back then, like 1992 J Lo. Now, the process of purchasing property is generally straightforward and very secure, although non-European citizens should be aware that a permit may be required to buy property in some cases. So while you can go and own stuff, you might have to put forth the effort to acquire some sort of residency or citizenship before you start trying to buy stuff in your name. Not to say that you have to have it in your name. It could be in your business name, but you have to navigate that concern. But where Finland truly stands out is its maki culture, the tradition of owning a summer cottage. That's actually pretty good. Now, these properties, often on one of Finland's nearly 188,000 lakes, are nestled in the forest of Lapland. That could easily be pronounced as lap dance. It's Lapland. And the understanding is that they are more than vacation homes. They're a core part of the national identity. So for an entrepreneur, a maki is the ultimate work-life balance. And it's a very grand asset. There it is. A place to disconnect and recharge, just a short drive away from the city. Potentially grab your fishing gear, your tube kit. You take Frodo with you. Tommy, take the guys with you. And before you cross the toll, Tommy doesn't make it back. And Fredo gets on the boat with you. Fredo doesn't make it back. That's a good place to be. And you can still go fishing while you're out there. That's some Godfather scenes. But the lifestyle asset also has a powerful financial angle to it. And that's actually pretty interesting because there is a strong and growing market for tourist rentals especially in the landscape regions and in uh, Lapland. So, Lakeland regions and in Lapland, a global destination for winter tourism, uh, renting out a cottage when you are not using it can generate a significant passive income stream. So, the dual purpose investment, which is, uh, in some people's opinion, the source of personal well being and a source of passive income. Now, this is the perfect embodiment of the Finnish approach to wealth. So, it should be an enhancement of your life, not consuming it, which is a little bit different from the model that we have right now. Uh, the claims are pretty bold, but they are supported by objective data. Finland doesn't just feel like a great place to do business. The numbers prove that. Uh, the country consistently ranks near the top globally for things like political stability and corruption and overall competitiveness. So the government's official goal is to raise the national RDP. Now, the research and development spending is going to get to about 4% of the GDP by 2030, which is in like 4 years from now because we're a couple of weeks away from January 1st. But a figure that would place this uh, scenario is right around the corner. And we're actually coming to find that certain places are in absolute peak areas where global innovation and investment are also highly profitable and easier to get into than what we thought. So the results of this focus is going to be clear because, as mentioned, the startup ecosystem is one of the most well founded in the world on a per capita basis, which isn't speculative. So you've got to get past the hype and see that it's still capital. Yeah. Now, what does this mean in practice? Is less friction. Contracts are reliable, regulations are transparent, and you can operate with the highest degree of certainty. And that's hard to do in most startup businesses. A lot of times we're taking a leap of faith. So this stability is an invaluable and often overlooked asset for an entrepreneur building a long-term building. Or, of course, uh, no system is perfect. And it would be dishonesty to try to sell Finland as a risk-free scenario or a utopia. Yeah. So to secure your success, you need to go in with your eyes open. So first, as we've said before, the personal income tax rates are high, rightfully so. But they're definitely going to make things a little bit better for you than being in America because there's no way around it. But this is the trade-off for incredible public services. Founders focus solely on maximizing short-term and take-home pay, which might fight it jarring. Now, the Finnish model prioritizes reinvestment and long-term stability over immediate individual cash outs. And that's one of the things that we have to think about, even when we start diversifying our portfolios for the upcoming weeks. If we've got something coming in a while from now, I want to give you guys the information on it so that you guys can invest in it so that you'll have access to it if you want it. Now, the second thing is that there's the language, because while nearly everyone in business of the business world speaks flawless English, um, English daily lifestyles and deep cultural integration has really benefit from people who learn Finnish or speak Swedish. So no matter how far you can get without learning the language, you will ultimately get a whole lot further if you learn the language. Now, the Finnish language is notoriously tricky for English speakers, and this can be a real barrier to feeling truly at home if that was your end goal. But there's a third: darkness. Now, the Finnish winter is long, dark, and cold. And I know a lot of people are thinking, why not start up a fire? It's a good idea. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe, and also take the opportunity to join the membership. Mash those reaction buttons. For people not used to now, the lack of sunlight in Finland can be a real mental health challenge. The uh, the Finns have mastered this particular concept with a culture that embraces winter, saunas, sports, and a cozy indoor social life. But it's a significant adjustment. Finally, the domestic market is small. With a population of only 5.5 million in the whole country, you have to plan for international growth from day one. You simply can't build a massive consumer factory facing the enemies of the country that you're in. So on the Finnish market alone, would you provide with the Finnish topics? So here's a question. He says, I wonder how many people can pick up a second language as an adult. Well, depending on the language, a lot of people not in the United States pick up as many as 5 languages as an adult. The average child is taught nowadays at least the fundamentals and working towards the advancements where the children are duolingo by the time they reach graduation age. So if they were to refresh their memory with some of the stuff that they already know, shouldn't have to spend as much time striking that deal. But that's a fantastic question. This is a question he had asked. He asked, I wonder how many people can pick up a second language as an adult. So Finland's support is so focused on internalization that the system forces you to think globally from the start. So is Finland truly the easiest place to become a millionaire? If easy means a path free from hard work, then no. Building a great company is always hard. But if your definition of easy is a system that removes the unnecessary obstacles, that replaces existential fear with a foundation of security, and that actively partners with you and your journeyer, then you would likely have the answer. It is quite possible. Uh, the Finnish model for Finland represents a different path, and it's a path where your government can act as your first investor, which we don't quite have here. Well, we do because Trump is putting all this money on the kids, so the handful of people in certain countries that qualify for that would get it. Well, first, we're looking at by the country being your first investor, you understand that tax codes rewards innovation, and you're going to also uh, remember the world class social safety and net uh, liberates, where you too can take the biggest risks of your professional life. And it's a system that understands a happy, healthy, and financially secure founder is a better founder. And it's a blueprint for sustainable success, but on the uh, radical idea that the well being of the entrepreneur and the success of the business aren't competing to prioritize. Uh, you'll be able to see going down this venture two sides of the same coin. And the old way of entrepreneurship that led to burnout, extreme risk, and relentless hustle is a broken model. That's a strange question. It is kind of borderline because it is on today's topic because you're asking me about Finland, but you're asking me about sports when I'm talking to you about profits, talking to you about investment opportunities, talking to you about budgeting information. So entertainment doesn't bring you peace of mind. But if I remember correctly, though, soccer is one of the sports that's widely common out there, or football. Now, you guys have to remember that the old way of entrepreneurship has completely burnt out. And the extreme risk and relentless hustle is gone. So, Finland offers a new one, a smarter one, a saner one. And as we start getting ready to use it, we need to take the time and ask yourselves, what do you guys think? Is the Finnish model the future of entrepreneurship? Or is it the high risk, high reward hustle of Silicon Valley? And the only way to build truly massive companies is to work together. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you guys are serious about considering paths to this magnitude, your journey doesn't end here. So if you're looking for more information, you can always find more details in our local membership. So don't forget, because in the situation that we have right now, we go live 7 nights a week to provide you guys with the availability and the information that you need to be successful. So you'd have to come back and check in every day. We're only doing like an hour, a couple of hours out of the night, which is far cheaper and more financially challenging to the fellas to stay on top of being successful. So when you have startup permits with insider tips from founders who already made the move, and don't forget to subscribe for more of the deep dives into the world's most unique business opportunities. We actually had a few other things that we were going to cover related to the Finland activities, but we just covered a pretty decent quantity of stuff today. And we do have the opportunity to do a follow-up. I run my own show. We'll do another follow-up on if I come across a miss, I would just do another follow-up and include some other ideas to be successful in Finland. Now, as we march off here, just barely making it, I want to say that we do start at the top of the hour at about 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, specifically equivalent to 10 o'clock 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. So as you guys sign out tonight, remember to swing back tomorrow because we're going to have some pretty interesting topics to discuss. And if you guys got any questions related to the topics, you can either message me or you can put it into the comment section during a live podcast. Now, with that being said, I want to say, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. And then fellas, I'm giving y'all this information to make you guys higher value men. And ladies, this information is not exclusive to the men. You too, ladies, can make yourselves higher value women by focusing towards some of the things that directly impact or indirectly impact your ability to receive. Now, Steven says, it sounds like it's someone wanted to do a startup there. It would be best to go and network first. Well, if you want to go and get you a startup, you can go and get you a startup and the bank will be your first investor. And then because your bank is your first investor, you got some blanket money that'll help you with the startup. All you would have to do is while you're out there with the startup, with the initial investment from the government, you would then be able to further expand. Like in some situations, like the Philippines, you can't even buy assets over there. Certain situations to expedite your ability to succeed. So in America, with the capitalist model, we spend more time trying to convince somebody to invest in us. But if most people and agencies are backed by government, you're not likely to fail because who cares? The government will pay for it. So with that being said, we managed to cover quite a few things. And especially if you guys that are watching us on Twitch and those of you that's watching us on Twitter, you guys got to take the opportunity to mash the like buttons and come and tiptoe into the membership. I want to thank you guys for coming to tonight's show. Thank you for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I will see you guys tomorrow night.
My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.